Today, we talk about.
Good point.
Well,
I don't want to keep rambling for you, but it's not that it's a pure comedy podcast. It's just I like to bring comics on. I like to talk your comedy journey, and then I just like to let the conversation go.
Oh no, I'm down for all that. You know what I mean? I was just fucking around.
Yeah, for sure.
My tone is flat sometimes, so people can't tell when I'm joking. Yeah.
But with that said, we'll wrap this up here, man. I just want to.
I ain't want to wrap it up yet.
No?
Well, how long is your longest podcast went so far?
The longest one, like an hour 15.
Hour 15. Where we at now?
We're a little, well, with the sneaker stuff we did earlier, we're a little over an hour. Only reason I say that is because we have another friend coming to do the podcast, but, he can just join in. That's no
Ken?
problem. Yeah, Ken.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah, no, Ken's chill.
Yeah, we keep going.
What else did you want to talk about? Was there something on your mind you wanted to mention?
Oh, shit, I don't know, but he started talking about the plight of white males, and that doesn't get
Yeah, I like white people.
Well, he's got to represent, right?
That don't get a lot of that doesn't get a lot of attention these days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nor do I don't know. It's like it's illegal for y'all. You know what I'm saying? To just be.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I
it's
mean?
it's
Dude, I'm
it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking of a stand-up joke about this.
I like I said, I literally went to college too on a HEOP scholarship,
Okay, what does that mean?
higher education opportunity program, but it was a Black and Latino scholarship. So I had to become a Black and Latino achiever in high school,
Oh wow.
and I had to go to all these before I went to school.
Are you black and or Latino?
No, I'm not, because it was an income-based program.
Gotcha.
But the state called it that.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
had to be there, and like it was. I had to go all in front of the black speakers with all these other people that got the scholarships, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we got to sit together." And I'm the only white guy,
Right.
and I was kind of back like, "All right, cool."
How'd you feel?
I didn't care.
You didn't care? Okay.
I literally didn't care.
I don't know. I think you cared.
No, I think it was.
I think
funny.
you cared a little
No,
bit.
I think it was funny. I really didn't start thinking about it until years afterwards. Because I went to like a not predominantly, but like a very black high school. I played football. Like I never really thought about race.
Yeah.
And then but then all of a sudden it started getting pushed in my face, and that's when I started thinking about I was like, oh yeah, I was like all these scholarship programs and like classes.
So now, what's it like? Cause what are you ethnically?
Iranian, Persian.
Iranian Persian. Oh, I got you. Nigga, your hair is going to grow forever.
Yeah, look at this mustache.
And you are
I was white.
Just white. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
German.
So, German. Okay. So now,
Gates.
now having said that, I'm curious. What's your take on like the social state of things right now?
I think it's a lot of the media's fault. I think and I understand like the other side, but growing up like in a very diverse.
I love this type of shit, by the way.
Yeah. No. I like that you're asking.
Yeah.
Growing up in a very diverse background, like my cousin, for example, is a coach for the New Orleans Saints. He's played pro football. He's mixed. I've just always been around like black people, white people, like whatever. So I never really thought about it.
Okay.
But now it's being like told I have to think about it.
So-
So like for me, I feel like it's unfair because like I don't want to think about it.
Okay. Why? Why? don't you
Because
think
I
about
never have. So
Okay.
like I was always just like, okay, yeah, like my cousin's dad is black. I don't care.
But you also hate that you're being described as a white man as the bad
I hate
guy.
being described as a white man.
as a bad guy.
Yeah,
Like,
as a bad guy.
Because
Yeah.
I was thinking about a stand-up joke about this. Like when I was growing up, similarly, like it was cool to be white, and so all of a sudden I get older now, and at this age, it's like not cool to be white.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
like, I literally just do not think about it at all. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm
Yo.
white. Like everybody get over it.
You know what's funny is that because like I hear you say that, right? And what happened in my mind is I just put the last thing you said and the last thing you said together, and this is what happened in my mind. It's the non-white third party. Well, actually, I am kind of white, but just not the way you can see it because you don't get this last name from people that look like me. Believe me. However, it sounds to me like it's when you say growing up being white used to be cool, right? And now because it's not cool, you hate being described as a white guy. So it's like I hate that you. It seems to me like I hate that you took the cool factor out of my thing.
It's not that. I hate
No, that's just the way I see it.
No.
but-
In politics and stuff, where they're like you have like Democrats and all that crap, where they're like, oh, we don't need like white people in front of the party. Where I'm just kind of like, why are we talking about it like this?
Well,
So that just bugs me.
Right, but see, this is the thing, and just as now, just my perspective on the whole thing. Because I find it hilarious, right? Because the reason why I find it hilarious is like when you say something is happening, and people go for years like, nah, that ain't it, and then it happened to them, and then it's like, oh shit, I don't like this. It's like, welcome to the club, motherfucker. It don't feel good, right? So now, I think that the conversation that needs to be had, as far as like white males are concerned, y'all need to have a conversation with white women because that seems to be who y'all fighting. Because the conversation on white male privilege, that was never the problem. The problem was white male privilege. The problem was white privilege. Okay? And somehow the conversation shifted to where it was just white male privilege. And I speak for black people on this one. We didn't change that narrative. We didn't change that narrative. We didn't make that the focus. We didn't make y'all the focus.
I love hearing those style of stand-up jokes too, where like people are talking about how like white women are the most offended of anybody for some reason, and they somehow are carrying the torch for all oppression. All of a sudden, it's like,
well, I mean that aside, right? I'm just saying the people that the conversation needs to be had with isn't, because a lot of times people have had the conversation, like a lot of my white friends talk about how hard it is being a white dude.
yeah, especially nowadays you hear that a lot.
Oh please! And it's
I mean,
like,
I'm saying when I did, and sorry to interrupt you.
oh good.
But when I was
50th time.
when I was working at this investment bank, I was told to ask different questions for black interns versus white interns.
That's disgusting.
Isn't it?
It's
Right?
disgusting.
That's what pisses me off, because I'm saying, like, I
Now, how hard did you fight for it?
I was like, okay,
That's the problem.
well, what am I going to say? What am I going to say?
And
If it's a directive,
this is what you.
that's why I quit the fucking.
But see, but here's the thing: you quit because in those moments, for you to make the change, especially if you were going to quit anyway, and this is the problem that we have in general, right?
It
And
wasn't,
now
I was
again,
going to quit. This was years ago. Like I was new.
You was new,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
young, and you were
yeah,
scared.
yeah.
But again, when we
Yeah.
talk about what the problem is, when you have the ball, right? It's up to you to shoot it or not. So that's like if I'm a new headliner, right? And there's a guy on my show, and the owner is mistreating him, right? And in the moment where I can step in and say something, I don't, because I'm new headlining. I want to work this club and I want to keep rising up, right? So I might not say what's on my mind, even though I know it was wrong. You're watching somebody get hurt, or you think somebody's going to get hurt. Even though you know it's wrong, you don't speak out of fear. And that's a problem that we all have, because you're not the only one that's guilty of that. I'm sure I've had moments that are similar to that, and I should have spoke up, but I didn't. And then you just stop going to those places. But when you stop going to those places, if you were a good guy,
Festers.
now a good guy isn't in that place. Now somebody who might not be a good guy or a good girl is now in that place, and they ready to do that shit. Oh, different questions? Okay, all right. Here's a question for you.
Would you have been okay if I said, no, I'm asking the same questions, and then we just hire white and Asian interns, and because no black could do it?
Bro,
Would you be okay with that? Honestly, would you be okay with that?
I'm going to answer honestly. I think I've been pretty honest this whole time.
Yeah. I'm curious.
If at any point my answer's long-winded though, they're not just yes or no. If that's the case, cool. Why not? But again, the problem here is it's not that you're asking them, because why should if the questions change, should they not get hired? That's the part that kills me. If they qualify for the job, should they not get hired? But again, we haven't dealt with the problem, because if the problem is isms, then deal with the ism. You know what I mean? I used to host a show on Vice where I talked to people that worked in the line of work that you were previously at, and the gender wage gap and the racial wage gap. Now, my co-host Carrie Cadet, she handled the gender wage gap. I handled the racial wage gap. Come to find out, it's deep. It's thick. And people will go ahead. What's it?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
I think like
You leaned back and took a deep breath. I was like, it's
well because
good.
I just
Gosh, how?
no, you're good. I mean, we're gonna disagree on this, like fundamentally,
Why?
which is fine. Well, because I really
Yeah,
think it doesn't exist.
I would need to I would need to
What
debate the race and the
the wage.
gender age
So
gap,
the
wage
gender-
gap.
Which is fine. No, I mean, dude, you're allowed. I mean, you're allowed to. Like that. That's what's great. About
Well, no,
scripture,
like you said, he's got a long-winded answer. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we would be able to unpackage the whole thing. But just
Right.
as a simple answer from my perspective, I don't believe in it as much from both perspectives. Because, for example, the training hospital I was at, because I can only speak to my experience.
Of course.
In my training hospital, the majority of our trainees were A, black, and B, women.
Yeah.
And we all got paid the same.
Yeah, 100%.
So
But see,
I don't know that when you generalize it like that, I don't know if I can get on board. But
So
you know.
this is what I was getting into, and funny enough, I'm glad that just happened. So when you say we fundamentally disagree, you ain't disagreeing with me. I haven't told you what my opinion is yet. because I'm just telling you what the facts were from the data that they showed us. So, when it came down to the gender side of the wage gap, they came to find out that because for some reason we've taught women not to talk about money, right? And they won't negotiate a lot of their salaries most times. You know what I'm saying? And then the non-negotiating, they'll get duped sometimes. They'll take the first thing that's given to them, right? Whereas men, we're taught to fucking go in and negotiate, so we'll negotiate higher for the salaries, what have you. Now, when it came to the racial wage gap, the data that they showed me was that in the same fields, right? Here's what it same field, same experience, and qualifications match up. It was white men, white women, Asian men, Asian women, black men, everybody else. So, again, that has nothing to do with my opinion. That was the facts. Now, if you want to know how I feel about it, then
no, not even how you feel about it. Just those statistics, that data. I would want to dig deeper into that data because that data is true to that.
Yep,
I know.
Declaration.
I'm not.
I need to see more of the data.
I disagree with the cause.
Okay, with the looking for the data.
Well, no. I completely agree with like what you're saying, like the data. But like, I think you seem like a smart guy. Like I really am not trying to argue here.
Okay.
But the idea like, oh, we teach men to do this, women to do this, or like it's a conspiracy for like white men to pay white men. Like I don't know. I want to see more data.
I don't think again. I don't think that has anything to do with race. I think that's just a cultural thing because.
But could I just let me finish the thought?
Sure.
Real quick. Because how many let's say like how many black people right in this profession, how many of them stay over 24 months?
And which
like anything, any wage that we're talking about. I'm just saying like so that those kind of things could filter in.
Right.
The same way where like I mean it's not like PC, right? But like it's like all right, like if a black person stays in this occupation that we're paying him for only for 24 months and a white person stays for 72 months, maybe that changes like the average pay. I'm just saying like there's that. And I'm not arguing like but I'm saying like people just reach for race and it pisses me off.
You don't gotta qualify it, right?
So you just qualify
to answer a couple of your questions from when we were at Vice and we were doing this. So we're talking to people that had years in their job, so it was the same experience, the same qualifications. So that's where they pull the data from.
So is your thesis or your
my
takeaway is it's a racist?
No. My actual thing is that there's a disparity. Now, if we're going into why is there a disparity, then that's a different conversation. But there is a disparity. So as to why, I don't know.
It was a disparity also. Okay, so it was like looking at the medicine, right? You said like healthcare. Was it all the same kind of roles?
Yeah, no. These are all people that
all the same roles.
It's like so you do the job you used to do at the banking company, right?
Yeah.
So same guy that has the same position at that company alongside you.
Yeah.
And what the pay is, right? And then they went down and they categorized, okay, well, at these positions. And
Who categorized?
Vice. No, not Vice. This is all data that they brought to us. So we interviewed professionals on this shit. They brought us the data, right? So when we asked professionals, they would tell us X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. And that was how it went. So as far as how I feel about it, I don't know enough about it. I think it's somebody that's always fighting to be paid correctly.
Would you be against? So let's say like we have and this is probably a little personal for you, but like let's say we got this kid from the project, right? Mm-hmm. We want to give him a job at Goldman Sachs, right? Just let him get his.
I mean, you give me the job tomorrow, I'll take it.
No. I'm just saying, like we got this kid, right? He's
I'm right here.
Yeah. Well, I can't do that for you, but if you want to come bartend, but he's 21. He could get a job at Goldman Sachs. Mm-hmm. Let's say because it's like an affirmative action program.
Well, the biggest beneficiary
hold on. Let me finish.
affirmative action are white women. but whatever.
Well, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's proven.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, but I'm just saying, I ask him different questions, right? I ask him about his life, blah, 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 and then I give him a job. He's an analyst. I might have a Harvard grad come in. He makes 90. This kid who I'm giving a shot makes 70. Are you against that?
I'm all for the motherfucker getting the chance if they're doing.
That's-
Hold on, wait. If they're doing the same job,
Same job.
oh no, then yeah, I don't.
So you
like that
think
at
they
all.
should be paid the same?
Yep. Because if me and you were doing the
And
same,
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
If me and you were doing the same work, if you doing brain surgery, I'm doing brain surgery. Nigga, pay me the same money that pay me to go and rate for brain surgery, right?
this-
Now, hold on, wait. Now, if you're an exceptional brain surgeon, well, that changes the game a little bit. However, if we're doing the same job, right, then we need to start talking about results. So now, if the results are different, that's one thing. But motherfucker, if we doing the same job, now you don't get more than me.
I agree.
If I step on
I
stage,
agree.
Because
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
step on stage to do my act, because you came to a showcase show, right? I was the closer, right? But we're all getting paid the same because we're doing the same allotted time. Now, if I'm doing more time and if I'm murdering, then my pay don't. If I'm on a showcase show, my pay don't go up. I get paid the same amount as a comic who might have been shitty, but that's because we're doing the same job. We might be doing it to different areas of effect, but we're doing the same job. Now, when effect comes into play, well, then now that's different. Because when I'm going up as a headliner and you're going up as a feature, I'm getting headliner pay, you're getting feature pay.
Yeah.
Because I earned that right because of my experience and my execution of my work.
Right. So okay, yeah, I agree with that. Because but that's what I'm saying though. But like the base might be for the Harvard guy because he might get the first look at the bigger pay, and they need to attract him from other firms. Whereas like the guy coming from the projects, this might be his only shot.
Well, why does
but like
he
why?
have the
But,
Harvard
like,
degree?
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
I mean now you're gonna go back into like. I mean we can go back as far as time.
Yeah, let's see if we can solve this in the
Yeah.
next.
Well, no.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm
Like,
kidding.
Okay, let's say
Yeah.
they're both black.
Yeah.
The Harvard kid, black Harvard kid, he
Yeah.
made it there.
Yeah.
He might be first roster, right? Like an A18.
Yeah.
The other kid, he's scooting in. The Harvard kid,
Right.
every other hospital might have like wanted him to go there.
Absolutely. Now, here's my.
And let's say they're both black.
Yeah, both black. Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't change my opinion because again, this is a person problem. The fact that you're white and you're making more than somebody who's doing the exact same job as you don't got shit to do with the fact that it's fucking wrong. You know what I mean? It's still wrong. If I punched you in your face, that's still wrong. If I punch you for no reason, it's still wrong.
Right.
So it doesn't. If you were black and I punch you in your face, it's still wrong.
But are you against capitalism then? Because like if this guy who comes from Harvard, regardless of race, I mean I'm just saying if because they have to make a bigger salary because they might go to Yale, they might go to Cornell, they might go anywhere else. They have to make more money because it lures them away.
Since you asking me, I stand by my answer. If they're doing the same job,
They should be paid the same.
they should be paid the same, despite your degree. Unless we're talking about execution. If this guy is doing the job much, much better than the other guy, well, then that changes things. But now, it
So
begs
maybe
the
it's
question
assumed because he came from Harvard,
that
it's
he'd be doing a
expected
better
that he'd
job.
be doing.
Well, no,
and
because
that's bullshit.
No, I agree with that. But
Yeah.
but he might be able to have multiple offers, so they're going to pay him more
Well, then-
because they're like trying to bring him in.
Right, but see now, here's
But
where
then
it
his
gets-
argument is, oh, fuck him then. He can go somewhere
Right.
else. But I got this other guy who's doing the same job and maybe doing
but,
it as well.
No, I understand your argument.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it. But I'm just saying, like,
Arguments
how would you?
are-
Yeah, it's not an
Yeah,
argument.
it's a
Yeah, I
discussion.
understand. I understand your discussion. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. You're like, if same work, everybody should be paid the same.
Yes.
I just don't understand, like, how would you attract talent then?
Well, that's ridiculous. So this is how you attract talent.
If you
If
think it's all incentive based,
huh?
I
Now-
really like talking to you, by the way.
Yeah, likewise.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's more than just incentive based, and it's more so.
So Ken,
What's up, bro?
How you doing, guys?
Are you a comedian as well?
nah,
No,
he's
he's not.
He's a
He's not.
writer.
Yeah, just a funny guy.
Gotcha. Good to see you, bro.
So he's a writer. He's a
Hold
poet.
on. No, we were
Okay.
going
No,
on
no,
something
just
here.
just to answer him. But I've been trying to convince him to do stand up because he is very
Working
funny.
on it, man. I'm
Gotcha.
working on
He's
it.
very funny.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's scared to go.
So-
Like, but yeah, I want to
so-
hear this.
when you say how do you attract talent, again, as somebody that works as talent, right? Now, different kind of talent, but as talent. When you come in, right, and you're talking about it's an incentive base, it depends on what we're talking about, bro. If we're doing the same job, because there's a certain level you have to be at to do the job, right? You come into comedy as an open micer, and there's varying levels of effect, right? Now, as you get better at your job, you leave one level and you go to the next. When you get to that level, whatever the pay rate is, that's what you're getting. When you leave that level and you go to the next one, whatever that pay rate is, that's what you're getting. Then when you get to the position where you can name your own price, now you're cooking with gas, because that's something different. But when we talking these two people coming in, X and Y, and they're doing the exact same job, they should get paid the fucking same. Because despite your degree, you go, how do you attract talent? Here's how you attract talent. Because this is what you get paid. Now show us your effect. After you show us your effect, then we go and we give you a raise. That's how you get bumped.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but like, okay, let's look at this.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, use yours because
let's look at this.
Show your
right?
hands are clean.
All right, you're top ACC performer.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to be drafted.
Mm-hmm.
You're making $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yep.
That's the quarterback.
Yep.
All the teams are going to be bending over and trying to get you over there, and you don't even have to sign the contract because
Cool.
you can walk away.
Yep.
You're from Duke.
Okay.
You're making $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
There's different potential
Mm-hmm.
in both those candidates.
Yeah,
So
but
but I'm saying if you think everybody should make the exact same for every job out of school, and it has to be incentive.
But wait, isn't a rookie contract the same max?
No.
well, here's
No.
what my point is.
No. Well, let me finish.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is like, the organization has to invest in you. If you're this guy that's coming in, kind of like from like I said, from the project, like they're giving you a chance, you should your potential is up to the ceiling, right? But if you're this guy that's coming in and he has like 2 MBAs, he's got a doctorate, he's gonna get paid more than you,
Well-
and that's because he could go anywhere.
Well-
You only have this route; he could go anywhere.
Well, this is the thing, and here's why I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna grab this.
Hey, I'm drinking this.
Right.
grab your bullet.
So, I'm gonna take those two things again, right? Because what happens is that's a very good example you made, but it was easy because we changed the rubric because we went to sports. The rubric changed when we go to sports.
But it's not.
No.
sport.
Your principle was correct. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's an advanced change because.
Well, no, even with someone with multiple degrees, multiple doctorates, he's saying he could get multiple job offers.
Right.
And he
Well-
You go anywhere, so
Well,
you have to.
I'm
The
trying-
organization has to bid for him.
Right.
And I know
right.
we're not going to agree because we're both like pretty.
Right. Well, look, this is America. We all got the right to be wrong. Whichever one of you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you're doing the same jobs, that's how you brought this up to me. You said there's two people doing the same job, one's from here, one's from here. They're both at the same company. If we're at the same company and we're doing the same job, we deserve to get paid the same. Because otherwise, we need to start talking about effect and execution of the job. Now, if I have a bigger area of effect and I'm executing the job just as good or better than this motherfucker, you're giving me money.
I know exactly what your argument is, and I agree. Like I think when they're there, that should be like monitored. But I'm saying this guy could start here, this guy could start here.
Unhired.
But it's unhired.
Unhired.
And then this guy, there should be no limits for him. If this guy's not performing, this guy goes here.
Well-
right? I get it. I get exactly what you're saying.
Well,
but I'm saying like at the beginning, because this guy could go to any team.
Here's the part that kills me is that
God, why is Ken here?
first of all, I want to know why the kid from the projects every time make the one with the Harvard degree, A, and then the
Oh,
fucking
God,
kid,
now we're gonna get into
then
You asked him.
then the kid.
No, I know, but we
Then
said we're not talking about like institutional and all that crap.
I'm not talking about racism. I'm talking about.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Oh, okay. You said
I said institutional.
I thought you were gonna
I
say.
stopped. No, I said institutional. You finished over.
I could have swore you were gonna say institutional racism.
I was. I want to see if you finished it.
Right. So I'm talking about the white kid from the projects
Uh-huh.
that fucking has the Harvard degree.
Yep.
And then I'm talking about the kid that
I
is
thought we
also
agreed
white.
they're both black during this entire.
Both black, both white, whatever the
Okay.
fuck. No matter the case, that part shouldn't matter. What should matter is when you get the job, if you get the
I
job.
agree. Yeah, we agree with that. Yeah.
So what you're telling me is before you get the job,
Yeah.
this one should be a first look. And this
No,
one,
I'm not saying should. I'm just saying that's how the real world works because
Oh,
this
I
guy,
mean,
this
well,
guy's
we
got
all
more
know
offers.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think
Okay,
that's the
then
point
yeah.
of conversation. Though. I think he's addressing
No.
how the real world
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
we all know that.
All right, then yeah, we're in agreement. Yeah, no.
Hold on,
we-
wait, stop.
I've said that we can rewind the tape. Hey, JV, pull it up.
Hold on, wait. You've been present.
I've been-
You just got here. Now again, now I might be crazy, and I'm a little crazy. But so what I was saying was, we understand. I know that's how the real world works. I would never argue with you on that. Of course, that's how the real world works.
I said that's how it should.
But no, it's how it works. It's definitely how it works. Where it's the Harvard grad, whatever the fuck, it looks pretty, what, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and you can go anywhere.
Yeah,
This guy can't.
And the not so Harvard grad, we gonna look at him however we look at him because we're giving him a shot, which is bullshit because he's gonna put in the work. This motherfucker,
Maybe you won't.
not true.
So you don't think there's any
I
stock?
don't think you can
in-
guarantee that.
Yeah,
That's the
you can't
thing.
guarantee
You don't
it
think
from the
there's any.
word.
So
You can't hold on. You can't guarantee that either way.
Exactly.
And that's my
Exactly.
point.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine, but nothing's guaranteed, fair. But to his point, he's trying to say, hey, this guy from the projects versus the guy from Harvard. The reason Harvard is because it's a brand that's been built on a certain expectation, a certain consistency, a certain
You ain't wrong.
right. So to give someone from that brand, I mean, this is why people die to go places like that because
Yeah.
they want that brand to drive them to be
Absolutely.
seen a certain way,
Absolutely.
right? Like my application as a doctor was not seen. He hates when I bring it up.
As a doctor.
Because I didn't go to Harvard, I don't get looked at certain places. Period.
Yeah, right.
Period,
But
right?
see, in what kind of medicine? are you
GI.
into?
GI doctor.
You gotta tell me more. I'm comedic.
Gastrointestinal. So that's
Oh, word.
It's like I do
Look.
colonoscopies and
Oh,
stomach stuff, liver, esophagus.
Let
all
me
that.
know if you can take out this ability hernia.
So I don't do hernias. That's
Shit.
surgery.
Fuck.
But what I'm trying to say is, to his credit, I do a better job than a lot of these Harvard motherfuckers.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Nobody's talking
but
about.
no, we're talking about both things apparently.
Yeah.
But to his point, those certain places would never even look at my application because I don't have that Harvard
Well,
H.
but this is the thing about this conversation, and I hope you know that this is where I'm coming from. Is that both things are true, and both
Yeah.
of us are correct.
Exactly.
Yeah,
However-
I'm not arguing. Like we said before, it's disgusting.
However, at the end of the day, as far as what I think is wrong, if, like you said, you don't do surgery, but if you kicking ass, taking names, and you're doing it better than the Harvard guy, he shouldn't be making more than you. That's why I have a problem with how teachers get paid. I have a problem with tenure. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
don't pay teachers enough. I feel like they should be making $75,000 coming out of school, and tenure should be taken away because tenure gives a teacher the fucking I suck at teaching, but you can't fire me.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
You raise their money and take away
That's fair.
tenure.
I was just gonna say we got a couple examples.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I mean?
yeah, public school. Yeah, you can't do
So,
anything.
so at the end of the day, I said all that to say this: if you're doing the same exact job as somebody, and they're doing it better than you, then you should get paid less than that person. But if it's equal, then you should be paid equal. But then that might have to change the way that we pay in general.
Not only that, but I think that may just require that you have to prove yourself. I'm going to have to
Right.
put in those hours and those years doing better than the Harvard guys
Yeah.
before those
But
people
I-
that turn me down be like, oh, you know
but-
what?
You know
Now
how
we're
insurance
going to.
works though? Like you come in as a guy, you come in as a younger person, they're going to charge you more money because you're more at risk. Because all
Yep.
the stats say that you're going to, cost them more money.
Yep.
So if you're coming into a job and you have a Harvard degree or you're some kid out of the hood, which I believe was a setup, I walked in late.
Yep.
Isn't that just like a little bit of insurance? Like statistically, this is probably a higher
That's
payoff. So
our
I'm
entire
gonna,
thing.
I'm going to bet.
They
on
might
that.
be doing the same job, but I'll bet on the Harvard
betting
guy.
on this because he's gone through
Yeah.
filters. Harvard
Yeah.
filtered him. He's
Or he can
five
take
steps down
another
the
job.
process.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I
Would you lend money to your best friend or some guy you met on the street? It's kind of the same thing, right?
nah, because you take
It's
a
actually like how many drinks have I had?
there's something missing there on how people make bets, and that's the gut feeling and relatability, right? But fuck, I'm losing my. I lost. I had a really good point. To what you're saying, right, about the two kids and one being from Harvard and whatnot. 'Cause I think something that you just said, and I think it's a failing from parents where people will go, "Oh, you got to work twice as hard to be." No, you don't. You just work hard, and you can be just as good as any motherfucker. You don't got to work twice as hard or got to be 2 times better than. Because I feel like that creates something in people that they shouldn't create.
Makes them not even want to try and
But
fix
isn't
it.
Right.
work twice as hard a mentality to beat the way the system's set up? Not that you should have to work twice as hard.
Let
but
me-
people are going to look at you as less, so you have to work twice
Let
as
me
hard
give
to
you
overcome
the
that
let me
stigma, no?
let me give you the example that floors all that. You still at Goldman Sachs?
No.
Right. And this is why I say that. He was at a place where he was probably working 2 times, 3 times, 4 times as hard as
He
anybody
was not working.
else.
No, I really,
Harder than
yeah.
anyone.
No,
I want to be very clear that that's on record.
It's political.
Okay.
Yeah, it's political.
So you were a shitty worker, fine.
no,
But-
I just hated it was politics. It
Okay,
was, yeah.
so when we talk about...
I was working harder mentally
Hold on, listen.
than a lot of people.
When we talk about the 45-year-old that you feel sorry for, that does work twice as hard as everybody, right?
Yeah.
And he's stuck in that trap, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing that he can really do. And he worked twice as hard as everybody.
Yeah.
He's still trapped like that.
Yeah.
There's no freedom there.
No.
It's nothing but
There's no.
And
I just don't know. What do you mean? There's nothing he can do. I feel like if you're
That's what I kept trying to tell him. There is things you
There's
can do.
always something you
Yeah.
can do.
No,
Like, I hate
no.
my job, and
But
it's
anyway.
like you won't be able to feed
What are
your
you
kids
gonna
that
do?
day.
Okay.
You
Right.
go find another one. I realize there are some people that are in that situation.
Right.
I totally respect that.
But
working
if
at
you-
Goldman
if you-
Sachs is probably not his
But
situation.
listen,
No.
Nothing.
But
Nothing.
I'm more so nixing his point to make.
Oh well, I'm always down for next this.
Yeah.
Let's talk to
I'm throwing that.
I fight everybody.
Right. I'm throwing that in there just to say there's somebody, because the reason why that guy is so miserable is because he knows he's working 3 times as hard and he's trying 4 times hard. Meanwhile, there's somebody that's just doing their best, is perfectly happy, even in that shitty place that you were in, because they're not overly competing with anybody. They weren't taught that they have to do more than their 100%, because that's something you make people envious that way.
That's
you know
fair.
what I mean? And